So we've looked at our product catalog template and our products by category template, and they're our product listings. So next we're going to look at our single product template. So to view that in the front end, if you click into a product, this is known as your single product. That refers to single product template. So you can get to that template directly if you click on edit site, and that will take you directly into this template ready to edit. This is exactly the same way you would get to this template if you went through the sidebar. So one mistake you probably want to avoid, if I just pop back to the front end, I'm viewing a single product. Like I said, you go edit site and that'll take you to this individual single product template. What you don't want to do is go to edit product, because that will actually take you to the edit screen and allow you to change prices and titles and stuff like that. So that's what you don't want to do. So if I just illustrate that again, we're going to the front end of my shop, go to shop, and then I'll link into a product. I don't want to edit the product, I want to edit the site, and because I'm on the single product, it will take me directly to the single product template. So hopefully that's clear. We just go straight into the editing, there we go. We can see we've got a placeholder as we have with the other templates. We can click on that and convert the classic template holder into a transform into blocks. And what that's done is it's basically taken all of the default elements and it's put them into individual blocks. So this is going to help us to manipulate the design and just give us more control over the look and feel. Previously you'd have to do it in a developer-y way in terms of using hooks and filters and stuff. But this lowers the barrier and allows the user to just take control over designing the your site, your shop basically. So if we go to our list view, and we can see how this is all broken down into individual blocks. So we've got a breadcrumb, we've got store notices, and we've got columns. So we just open all this up a second. We can see, so we can see everything. So we can see we've got a couple of columns, and we've got obviously our product image gallery here. And then on the right hand side, we've got all our product information, title, price, categories, etc. Now, although these are individual blocks that you can take control of and move around and change the style of and things like that, there are certain blocks that are more dynamic than others. One of those is the add to cart with options. Now, this is a placeholder because depending on what type of product you add to your shop, it could be a simple product or it could be a variation. So a product known as a variation product would have maybe a size and a color. Therefore, the options will need to change for the customer. So they'll need to choose a size and then a color before they can add it to their cart. If they don't do that, this is what the notice is for. It will explain to the customer that they need to either select a size or select a color before they can add to the cart. So that's the reason why I wouldn't probably get rid of the notices, because it just gives useful information back to the user if it's needed. And also some plugins use this to hook into if you've added some other sort of custom functionality to your site. They'll use the notices for conditionally showing information. So moving further down, we've got our product meta. Now, again, these are almost dynamic, but you can take control over the styling of them. So if you don't add your products to a particular category, or you don't use categories or tags, then these dynamically just won't appear. Then you may want to decide to remove those, and you can do those by clicking on the three buttons and just removing that block entirely. Or you may want to remove the whole lot, and that includes the SQU code. Having said that, there's no reason why you can't move these out and put them in different places to bring them out of the kind of structure that they're currently in. So I'm just going to undo that and go back. So further down the page, we've got product details. Now, again, this is similar to the add to cart with options. It's a dynamic block, and it shows tabs which include, description, additional information that you can add to your product at the back end, and any reviews that you have. And again, you may not have any of this information, so you may want to decide to remove that altogether, but it will dynamically change as the user kind of navigates through those tabs. So what isn't shown here is there's another dynamic block Well, it's not really a block because it's not shown as a block. But with products, you can add, you can link other products to the product you're editing. So they can be things like, say you're selling shoes, you can upsell or cross-sell maybe a cleaning product for those shoes. So you can add those, but I don't know why it's not displayed, but it does happen between these two blocks, whether it's hooked to the product detail or hooked before the related product, I'm not sure. So bear in mind, if you do remove any one of these and you do use the cross-sell, upsell functionality in the back end for the products, you may well be removing that as well. So that's something just to be aware of. So if we look at our related products, we can see that we've got a title. We've also got, as we did with our catalog and category templates, we've got our product template. Now by default, this is showing as a single list, which I don't know why it's not selected, but it is that's the single list, single view or list view. We want to change that to a grid, or I would personally. Now, when you change these, it's always worth checking up here on the top right for the settings, because there may well be additional settings for those individual blocks. And we can see here, because we've changed it to a grid, we can now have control of the columns. So I want to change that to 5 column grid. Now we can't see it, it's looking a bit squeezed because we're just losing the real estate on the page here, but it looks okay. So yeah, just be aware of that. So, and again, if we change it back to list view, it then changes the settings. So dynamically, your settings may change depending on what options you choose for those individual blocks. But it'll either have settings or it'll have styles. So if we look at a related products heading, that instantly takes us to the styling. So we can change the text color. Maybe if you want to give it a background, you can. And that will automatically give you some dimensions and padding that you can then manipulate for that particular element or block. So I'm just going to undo that, take that away. Now, you may have a very limited amount of products, so maybe you want to say get rid of the related products. Now, if you do that for this particular block, it will actually say, are you sure you want to do that? Because just recommending it's probably not advisable, because you can sell more products if there's more products on the page, right? So I'm going to get rid of it because I just want to illustrate this, how we can simplify the page template in our front end. So I'm going to say I don't want the product details either. Let me just get rid of this to get some real estate. So I don't want to see any of that. Remove that. I've got limited categories maybe, so I'll get rid of that as well. I'm going to keep everything else. Maybe I want to move my rating down, or reviews, sorry, to the bottom. Or maybe I don't want to show reviews at all. Actually, just get rid of that. And my columns, I want to actually put my image to the right and my product information to the left. So, and again, we've done this before. If you shift select individual blocks, you can then group them into a row, and then you can start changing the vertical aligning, maybe spacing out evenly, and maybe you want to make that bold. So we look at the settings and then look at the styles for this block. So we'll look at the appearance and then change that to bold, and maybe change the text color. But you get the drift. You can see how you can take control over everything. So I'm just going to do that because that looks horrible. So I'm going to save that, and we're then going to check out how that relates to our shop in the front end. You can see that that's now respecting our template that we've just edited. So again, if you don't like what you've done, or you want to revert back, that's simple enough to do. Just be aware that, because I think there's some caching issue going on here, but you basically come back to your template, you should be able to click that, the 3 dots, and then clear the customization. But for some reason it doesn't do it. So if you just come back to your templates all the way back, and then you go back into your single product template, it doesn't show it. Okay, so maybe we've got to save and then come right out of our editing experience and then go back into it. You see what I mean about there's some weird caching thing going on, so just be aware of that. So I'm going to go find my single product template again, and now we can see it's come back. So we can see that we're using a WooCommerce template and it's been customized. So click on the 3 dots and then clear customization, and that will revert it back to your original default template. And you can either start again or just leave it as it is. So that brings this video to a conclusion. Hopefully that's given you a good oversight of how the templating system works. If you like this video at all, please do give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.